Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about John David Duggar, his plane crash, and how his family has finally released a statement about the plane crash and how they feel about it. John David Duggar, he knows that he is lucky to be alive. The same can be said for his wife Abby and their daughter Grace, because they were all three in the plane when it went down. And I recently started following this couple, and the way that I found them on YouTube is one of their videos just popped up and it was titled "We Survived a Plane Crash." And the guy's name is Gentry and the woman's name is Betsy, and they went with their friends in a small plane. This was the first time that they had flown in a small plane, and their friends wanted to take them out and just kind of, have a fun day with them. So Gentry and Betsy brought their two twin boys along. Their boys also have a YouTube channel as well. I will link their channels in the description box below. But Gentry was like kind of nervous. He was like, "Are you sure that it's going to be safe?" And his friend, who was one of his best friends, was like, "I will never put you in harm's way. Yes, it's going to be safe." He did all the things, needed to check everything. And as they're inside, Gentry is passenger. He's recording everything. They're laughing and they're talking. And all of a sudden, the engine fails. And they're over some water. It just so happened they were able to make it to land. And he's actually recording as they hit. And then the camera just flips around, and Gentry and the pilot broke their back. Gentry broke both legs. Thankfully, the boys in the back, they were just bruised. The wife, Betsy, broke like almost all of her ribs. So it was a very traumatic experience. But from watching that, it really made me realize how things could have been so different for John David, his wife, and their daughter. They definitely could have crashed that plane and one of them been killed. So they are lucky to be alive. The plane crash actually happened on October 29th in Waverly, Tennessee around 7 p.m. And according to a 911 dispatcher, John David called the crash in, citing double engine failure before landing the plane in a field. Thankfully, everyone on board somehow came out unharmed. On Friday, after multiple media outlets started reporting on this near tragedy, John David and his wife finally spoke out about the incident for the first time. So in a statement to Celeb Buzz, they said, "An emergency landing or any kind of plane crash is a scary thing, but it's exactly what pilots are trained for. We are so thankful for God's protection as we all walked away without injuries when this happened last October." The couple concluded their statement by saying, "We so appreciate the love and care so many have expressed towards us." Now, based on a preliminary report from the National Transportation Safety Board, there was substantial damage to the aircraft, and the NTSB's investigation into what transpired remains open. So we may learn more about what happened and why it happened. As for why this information is only coming out now, many months after the incident took place, Duggar fans or Redditors believe that the Duggars tried to cover this up in order not to bring more negative attention to the family, because Josh Duggar's trial was set to start just days later. So this plane crash takes place late October, and then November 3rd, Josh Duggar's trial was set to begin. So people think maybe they didn't want any news coming out, especially like bad news. So they just kind of covered it up in order to not bring any more negative attention to the family. So on December 8th, Josh Duggar was found guilty on 2 charges of receiving and possessing CSAM, and he now faces up to 20 years in jail. John David runs a nonprofit aviation company titled Medic Corps, which involves small planes and helicopters delivering relief supplies to areas hit by natural disasters, which I think is a great thing to do. The plane that he was flying at the time of the accident was registered to his company, which is based in Springdale, Arkansas. It does say that it was confirmed that the reason he was out that day in the plane was for personal use, personal reasons. They were probably just, it was probably a nice day. So they was like, "Hey, let's take the plane out." I mean, as we all know, aviation plays such a major role in their lives. Abby is also a pilot. Last year, April 2021, they celebrated her birthday at an air show in Lakeland, Florida. He proposed, around small airplanes. Actually, their wedding photos was taken airplanes. They left their wedding in a small airplane. Small airplanes is just such a big part of their life. Everything major involves airplanes. So it's so great to hear that everyone was able to walk out of that so unscathed. Especially compared to the family that I just recently started watching on YouTube, who literally, oh my goodness, it devastated their family. While no one passed away, Gentry, the husband, he broke his back, both legs, traumatic brain injury, brain bleed, so much. You know, it just completely changed their lives just that in that one day, in that one moment. So it could have been so terrible for them. Now, John David, as you might recall, really stepped up after Josh confessed back in 2015 to having molested his sisters when he was just a teenager, and then also admitted to cheating on his wife. On an episode of 19 Kids and Counting, John David said while in a confessional, "For me, making sure that I'm a man that I need to be, that I'm an example to those all around me, it's a big load, it's a big weight upon me now. Hey, I've got a bunch of younger siblings looking up to me, and I've got to be an example to them, because whatever I am, that's what they will want to be." He then added on that episode that he grew up admiring Josh. Josh is his older brother, so of course he admired him. But after all the news about Josh came out, he said, "One of the toughest things I ever had to do was to tell my brother, I don't want to be like you anymore." So 7 years ago, John David made that statement on the family's TV show after all the information come out about Josh Duggar, which was, I think that was the best thing that he could have done. Acknowledge what his brother did and, you know, tell his brother, I don't want to be like you. I don't know if it would change what Josh was doing or, you know, no. But at least he was brave enough to tell him. And then he took that weight on to do better, be better, so his younger siblings had someone to look up to. So glad to hear that they made out okay. It could have been so different, but that is their statement, you guys, that, you know, pilots are trained for this and they just feel like God's protection was all around them, which no doubt that it was. You guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below, and make sure you give this video a huge thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, because I'm trying so hard to get to 50,000 subscribers, and I am so close, 49,800 and something. So you guys, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye, everyone.